End of the story. Mineral Resources Minister Mantashe didn't pocket 40 million rand meant for former mine workers. Court for the woman accused of running over and killing a 13-year-old girl. And a devastating fire at Tomorrowland in Belgium won't stop the festival from going ahead. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
The Johannesburg High Court has ruled on claims that Mineral Resources Minister Mantashe pocketed 40 million rand meant for former mine workers, calling them false and defamatory. The court delivered its judgment interdicting activist Zakhele Zuma from repeating the allegations. It's outlined it'll decide on a later date how much Zuma is liable to pay in damages.
The case stems from allegations made on a series of TikTok videos and a public statement by Zakhele Zuma. In each instant, he's accused Mantashe of stealing money allegedly paid to him in 1999 for workers at the East Rand proprietary mines. The court found Zuma's statements unfounded, malicious and damaging to Mantashe's dignity and reputation. Judge Janse van den Evenhuizen said Zuma failed to provide proof that Mantashe received the funds and instead relied on unsubstantiated claims and rumors. The court also declared the statements unlawful and ordered Zuma to stop making or publishing similar claims. The judgment also noted that the allegations exposed Mantashe and his family to danger, humiliation and public threats. A final decision on how much Zuma must pay in damages and the terms of a public apology will be determined after oral evidence is heard. Mungi Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
The Johannesburg High Court has delivered judgment in the case of a preschool teacher accused of rape and murder. Amber Lee Hughes is facing charges relating to the death of a 4-year-old stepdaughter, Nada Jane Chalita. She was arrested in 2023 after the body of the 4-year-old was found floating in a bathtub.
It's understood 4-year-old Nada Jane Chalita was left in the care of a stepmother on the day she died. The former preschool teacher, who was romantically involved with the child's father, was allegedly the last person to see her alive. On January 23, 2023, the lifeless body of Nada Jane was found floating in the bathtub of the house she shared with her father and her stepmother. Amber Lee Hughes was later arrested in connection with the crime. Hughes has pleaded not guilty to all counts. Ndozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
There have been clashes between Operation Dudula members and housing rights group Abahlali Basemjondolo in Braamfontein today. This after Operation Dudula accused Chapter 9 institutions of prioritizing the rights of illegal foreign nationals.
We are outside the South African Human Rights Commission offices in Parktown, where Operation Dudula has submitted a memorandum of demands accusing the institution of prioritizing the rights of undocumented foreign nationals. Earlier today, the group went to the offices of the Socio-Economic Rights Institute in Braamfontein, where they were surprisingly met with the housing group Abahlali Basemjondolo. Now, the reason Abahlali Basemjondolo were there was to stand in solidarity with SERI for having protected their rights in the past. There were violent clashes between the two groups because Operation Dudula then accused Abahlali Basemjondolo of protecting the rights of foreign nationals. Due to the clashes, Operation Dudula refused to hand over their memorandum and made their way to Parktown to the Human Rights Commission, where their memorandum was received and signed. Now, the Human Rights Commission was given 10 days to respond to the demands. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News, Parktown.
A new warrant of arrest has been issued for a woman who drove her car into a crowd of young girls, killing a 13-year-old in Germiston, Ekurhuleni. Priti Mahlangu died after she was run over during a Sweet 16 traditional ceremony last month. The 68-year-old suspect was released from the Germiston police station on 5,000 rand bail following her arrest earlier this month. The host family says the driver of the car that ploughed into the group is a neighbour. But since then, the woman hasn't appeared before court.
The court gave instructions to the investigating officer to gather more information and evidence.
Detectives say police have evidence which suggests kidnapping accused Samima Jacobs pretended to be 3 different women as part of her alleged plan to abduct a 9-year-old baby. Jacobs was arrested in Mitchell's plane after allegedly abducting the baby boy at Middestad Mall in Bellville 3 weeks ago. She has appeared in Bellville Magistrates Court for a bail hearing.
The bail hearing for kidnapping accused Samima Jacobs took a turn in her favour today after the magistrate questioned the well-being of the accused 7-year-old child. Iman Shamar, whose infant boy was allegedly abducted by Jacobs, says she was hoping for a more positive outcome today.
Listening to what was all said today and realizing that there is a very strong possibility that the bail is leaning towards our side more, it's really starting to make me feel very unsafe again.
State witness in the bail application, Detective Sergeant David Fontaine, says the lengths Jacobs went to in her alleged plan to abduct the baby shows she was desperate and capable of doing so again. The magistrate told Fontaine the rights of Jacobs' minor child also needs to be taken into consideration when deciding whether or not she will be released on bail. The bail hearing will continue on Wednesday next week. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News, Bellville Magistrates Court.
And 2 women linked to the brazen fatal shooting at Wynberg Magistrate Court have been denied bail. Shireen Matthews, the alleged mastermind in the killing of Dingala Moya Chinso, and alleged gun smuggler Wene Farao, appeared in front of a magistrate today. They are the only accused out of 5 who chose to apply for bail in this matter. Chinso, a taxi operator from Vrygrond, was shot and killed inside the courthouse after appearing in court for a murder case.
I therefore am inclined to agree with the state that a likelihood has been established that if both accused were to be released on bail, there's a likelihood that they will evade their trials.
The Gauteng government has established a task team to deal with taxi-related violence in the province. This on the back of a recent spike in disputes in the industry, which authorities attribute to fights over routes between rival taxi associations. In the first 3 months of the year, at least 59 people were killed in taxi violence in the province.
We also identified the issue of taxi violence. Now recruited a team that we procured for almost 12 months to then confront the serious problems of taxi violence. This is a complete new unit. We call them Abunjandi. It's a no-nonsense unit, well-armed, well-resourced, operating on a 24-hour.
FlySafair customers may need to make alternative travel arrangements for the coming week as wage negotiations between the airline and union Solidarity have hit a deadlock. Among the demands of a salary increase of 10.5% in the next financial year, then followed by 4.5% and 4% in the next 2 years. Solidarity says pilots need a more stable and precise roster, which doesn't impede on pilots' ability to plan their lives.
Unfortunately, they've not yet found common ground, which has resulted in the issuance of a strike certificate. That does not, of course, mean that a strike is looming at this stage. There's still a requirement to give notice, so negotiations are ongoing.
An Israeli strike on Gaza's only Catholic church has killed 2 people today. That's despite Israel saying, quote, it never targets religious sites and regrets any harm to civilians. Pope Leo XIV said he was, quote, deeply saddened by the attack. And we pray for the rest of their souls and for the end of this barbaric war. The main stage of the Tomorrowland music festival near Antwerp in Belgium was totally destroyed by fire on Wednesday. Despite that, Tomorrowland will go ahead as planned. Organisers say they're working on solutions. No injuries were reported and the cause is under investigation. Around 400,000 people are expected over the 2-weekend event. Don't forget to download the EWN app and we'll see you again tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.